The football world is absolutely losing its mind right now, and it's all because of what's about to happen this Sunday. Shedeur Sanders is making his first official start as an NFL quarterback, and the excitement surrounding this moment is unlike anything we've seen from a rookie debut in years. This isn't your typical first game for a young player trying to find his footing in the league. We're witnessing a genuine cultural phenomenon unfolding in real time, with millions of people watching and everyone having strong opinions about what's going to happen next. This has become must-see television regardless of whether you love Shedeur Sanders, hate him, or fall somewhere in between. Let me show you just how massive this moment has become. Sports analysts are clearing their schedules specifically to cover this game. YouTube channels are preparing extensive breakdowns and reaction content. Twitter is absolutely exploding with predictions, hot takes, and passionate debates. The betting lines in Las Vegas are shifting dramatically based solely on the quarterback change. This isn't just another NFL game anymore. This is an event. This is appointment viewing. And no matter how much you love or dislike Shedeur Sanders, no matter how confident you are that he'll succeed or fail spectacularly, you're going to be watching. Everyone is going to be watching. That's the power of this moment. The build-up to Sunday has been absolutely wild. Just days ago, Shedeur was the third-string quarterback, with virtually no one expecting him to see meaningful action this season. Then suddenly, he was thrust into a game at halftime against one of the best defenses in football, with zero preparation time, and the entire internet erupted with opinions about his performance. Some people thought it was a disaster. Others saw flashes of potential. But everyone noticed something that captured their attention. And now, with leaked comments from Kevin Stefanski going viral about how encouraged he is by what he saw from the young quarterback, it appears the coaching staff believes this kid has legitimate franchise quarterback potential. Everything changed in an instant. The NFL schedule makers set up a normal slate of games for this Sunday, but Cleveland's matchup is now the most anticipated game of the weekend, by a significant margin. Everyone wants to see what Shedeur Sanders does with his first real opportunity to prove himself. That's why Cleveland's game is being played at 4:30 in the afternoon, positioned for maximum viewership and attention. Think about how remarkable that is. A fifth-round rookie is generating more buzz and anticipation than established stars who have been dominating headlines for years. That's the magnitude of the moment we're about to witness. So let's break down everything that's happening right now. Everything that brought us to this pivotal moment and what we should realistically expect when Shedeur takes the field for his debut start. There's an enormous amount of noise, countless hot takes, and plenty of people commenting who don't actually understand what they're watching. But if you want the real story behind all this hype and why this moment matters so much, you need to hear what's genuinely happening behind the scenes. First, let's address the preparation factor, which is absolutely critical for understanding what we're about to see on Sunday. When Shedeur was thrown into that game at halftime, he hadn't taken a single snap with the starting offense during practice that entire week. Not a few here and there, not even one. He was running the scout team, which means he was literally playing the role of the opposing team's quarterback to help the defense prepare for their upcoming opponent. That means he was running Baltimore's offensive plays, not Cleveland's. He was preparing his teammates while getting zero preparation for himself. But this week is completely different. This week changes everything. Shedeur Sanders is getting every single first-team practice repetition. He's working extensively with the starting offensive line, building timing and chemistry, getting the protection schemes down so everyone knows their assignments when blitzes come. He's running routes with the starting receivers, developing the rhythm and connection that makes an offense operate smoothly. He's sitting in meeting rooms with offensive coordinator Tommy Rees, going through the entire game plan that's been specifically designed around his skill set and current capabilities. This is real preparation. This is what NFL quarterbacks need to succeed. And the fact that Shedeur showed as much as he did without any of this preparation Has Kevin Stefanski and the coaching staff genuinely excited about what he can accomplish now that he's finally getting a legitimate opportunity? The Browns organization is already generating buzz about how they're preparing for Sunday's game. Sources indicate that Tommy Rees is constructing an offensive scheme that specifically leverages Shedeur's strengths while protecting him from his current vulnerabilities. That means implementing quick passing concepts that get the ball out of his hands rapidly before defenses can generate pressure. That means designing rollouts and bootlegs that utilize his mobility and athleticism while keeping him moving rather than standing static in the pocket waiting to get hit. That means incorporating vertical shots to receivers like Jerry Jeudy, who can win contested catches and make plays down the field. This is intelligent football. This is how you develop a young quarterback properly. You don't just throw him to the wolves and demand perfection. You create situations where he can succeed, build his confidence, and grow into the role over time. The chatter coming out of Cleveland's facility suggests that Shedeur has been completely locked in during practice this week. He's arriving early and staying late. He's asking questions constantly. He's studying film obsessively. He's approaching this opportunity like a seasoned professional, not a rookie who's simply excited to be there. This level of preparation and professionalism is exactly what coaches want to see from a young quarterback being handed the keys to the offense. One of the most fascinating aspects of this entire situation is the developing relationship between Shedeur and Kevin Stefanski. If you've been following the insider reports and the leaked audio that went viral, you know something interesting is happening. Stefanski appears to have stepped back from directly coaching Shedeur or calling plays, instead delegating that responsibility entirely to Tommy Rees and the quarterback's coach. At this point, Stefanski's primary functions are essentially limited to making crucial game management decisions and monitoring timeouts. Analysts following the situation closely suggest this is because Stefanski is essentially auditioning for his next job, while simultaneously giving his coordinators the freedom to develop Shedeur properly. This situation is perfectly captured by a great observation that's been circulating. It's about not seeing someone even when they're standing right in front of you. You might think you're looking at them, but you're actually looking past them to what comes next, to what's beyond. Kevin Stefanski is operating exactly like that right now. He's not concerned with the noise, the critics, or the doubters who think this decision is insane. He's looking at the bigger picture, at what this kid could become, at the possibility that they might have just discovered their franchise quarterback in the 5th round while everyone else was sleeping on him. However, we absolutely need to address the anger and negativity swirling around this situation. There are people who were never going to give Shedeur Sanders a fair chance regardless of what he accomplished. Some individuals formed their opinions before he even stepped on an NFL field. When he struggled statistically in that difficult halftime debut, they felt vindicated, convinced they had all the evidence they needed that he was a bust destined to fail. But here's the truth that needs to be said loudly and clearly. Cleveland fans and football fans in general have a documented history of being extremely divided over nearly everyone. Baker Mayfield dealt with it constantly. Odell Beckham Jr. dealt with it. Myles Garrett has dealt with it. LeBron James, arguably the greatest athlete of all time, had to deal with intense negativity in Cleveland simply because he had the audacity to say he was from Akron instead of Cleveland. The pettiness of being angry at someone for accurately stating where they were born is almost comical. But that's how absurd things can become sometimes. When people claim Shedeur is divisive, they're not really talking about him as a person or player. They're talking about a fan base that has been hurt and disappointed so many times that some people have developed deep cynicism about everything the organization does. They don't like where Shedeur came from. They don't like his father's confidence and swagger. They don't like the attention he received in college. They've manufactured reasons to dislike him that have absolutely nothing to do with his ability to play quarterback at a high level. But here's what's going to happen when Shedeur steps onto that field Sunday afternoon. Every single person who hated him, every person who celebrated his struggles, every person who declared he didn't belong is going to be watching. They won't be able to help themselves. They'll claim they don't care, but they'll be glued to their screens, scrutinizing every single throw he makes. Because even the haters desperately want to know if this kid can actually do what Kevin Stefanski believes he can do. And that's a major reason why the buzz surrounding this game is so enormous. It's not just the believers and supporters who are excited, it's everyone. The people who love him and the people who hate him are all talking about this singular moment. That's what genuine cultural impact looks like. That's when you know something truly special is about to happen regardless of the outcome. Now let's discuss the practical football side of things and what we should realistically expect on Sunday. We need to establish reasonable expectations here. Shedeur Sanders is not going to walk out there and throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns in his first start. That's not how football works, especially for rookies. He's still adjusting to the speed of the NFL game. He's still building chemistry with receivers he's only practiced with for 1 week. He's still going to face defenses that are more complex and aggressive than anything he encountered in college. But what we can expect to see is progress and process over perfection and results. The coaching staff is absolutely preparing for exactly this reality. Recently, legendary Browns quarterback Bernie Kosar, who knows this game inside and out, offered Shedeur some excellent advice about what he needs to do. Kosar emphasized that Shedeur is now in command of the football field. He needs to control the game, protect himself from unnecessary hits, make intelligent decisions with the football, and save his biggest plays for the fourth quarter when games are won and lost. That's wisdom from someone who's been exactly where Shedeur is right now. Don't try to win the game on the opening possession. Don't take unnecessary risks early that could put you in bad situations. Play smart football. Execute the game plan and let the game come to you naturally. If it's third and long and nobody is open, throw the ball away and move on to the next down. If a pass rusher is coming unblocked, throw the ball away rather than taking a devastating hit trying to manufacture a miracle play. The objective is to still be standing and effective when the game is on the line in the fourth quarter. The offensive game plan that people are discussing is reportedly heavily focused on getting the football to Jerry Jeudy. This makes perfect sense for multiple reasons. Jeudy is the team's top receiver and highest paid offensive weapon. He can create separation, make catches in traffic, and generate yards after the catch. When you're a young quarterback, you need someone you can trust implicitly. You need a player you can count on to be where he's supposed to be, fight for the football, and bail you out when things break down. Reports from inside the facility indicate that Shedeur and Jeudy have been developing excellent chemistry during practice this week. They're getting on the same page. They're building that connection where the quarterback knows exactly where his receiver will be and when, and the receiver knows the ball is coming his way when he makes his break. This is how you make a passing game function effectively. You establish your primary option, and everything else opens up from there. Making Jeudy the clear focal point is also outstanding football strategy from a psychological perspective. When you demonstrate that level of trust in your best receiver and make it obvious that he's the guy, something interesting happens mentally. That receiver begins working even harder. He runs his routes with additional intensity. He fights for every yard because he knows his quarterback is depending on him. It builds mutual respect and a partnership that elevates both players. And for a rookie quarterback making his first start, having that reliable target to throw to is worth its weight in gold. There's also significant interest in how Shedeur will handle pressure and blitzes. This will be a major storyline on Sunday because defensive coordinators across the league watched what happened in his first appearance. They saw a young quarterback who struggled when facing heavy pressure, so you can absolutely guarantee they're going to test him again. They're going to bring heat. They're going to disguise coverages. They're going to try to confuse him and speed up his internal clock. But here's the crucial difference. Shedeur has actually practiced against these looks all week. His offensive line has worked through protections with him. He knows who's supposed to pick up which blitzer and where his hot routes are located. Instead of seeing exotic pressure packages for the first time during live game action, he's prepared for them. That preparation makes an enormous difference in how quickly a quarterback can process what he's seeing and make the correct decision. Anyone who genuinely wants to understand what they're watching on Sunday needs to pay attention to the film breakdown that's coming. When you break down every single throw from Shedeur's first game using the all-22 tape that shows every player on the field, the picture becomes dramatically clearer. You can see when receivers ran incorrect routes. You can see when protection broke down. You can see when Shedeur read the play correctly, but the throw was off because he was getting hit as he released the ball. Context is everything in football evaluation, and film study provides that context in ways that live television broadcasts simply cannot. The excitement building around detailed film breakdown sessions is part of the larger excitement surrounding Shedeur's debut. People want to understand what they're actually seeing. They want to know if what they perceived with their eyes matches what the tape reveals. They want to learn the nuances of quarterback play rather than just looking at completion percentages and box scores. That's the level of interest Shedeur Sanders is generating right now. He's making people care about the details. One of the most powerful aspects of this entire situation getting significant attention is the faith component. Not just Shedeur's faith in himself, but Kevin Stefanski's faith in him as well. Remember the story that went viral on draft day when Stefanski called Shedeur and told him that God works in mysterious ways? Those words carried meaning. That was a head coach planting seeds about trusting the process even when circumstances seem difficult or discouraging. And now, look where we are. 31 teams passed on Shedeur multiple times during the draft. He fell all the way to the 5th round, despite many people projecting him much higher. He sat on the bench as the 3rd-string quarterback for weeks. He got thrown into chaos with no preparation. And while the world criticized him, he struggled with the statistics. But through all of it, he kept believing. He kept working. He kept preparing for his opportunity even when there was no indication it would come this quickly. And now he's the starting quarterback for an NFL franchise with his head coach and coaching staff supporting him 100%. Regardless of what happens Sunday, that's a powerful narrative. That kind of story resonates with far more than just football fans. It's about perseverance, faith, and not allowing your circumstances to define your destiny. And you can bet that's a significant part of all the excitement surrounding this game. The family dynamic also adds another layer to this remarkable moment. Shedeur's father is Deion Sanders, one of the most iconic athletes in sports history. Primetime was the embodiment of flair, swagger, and confidence. He built a Hall of Fame career on the foundation of unshakable self-belief and his ability to perform when the stakes were highest. He raised Shedeur in that environment, preparing him for exactly these kinds of moments. But what's genuinely impressive is how Shedeur has carved out his own identity, separate from his father's massive shadow. He doesn't want to be Deion. He wants to be the best version of Shedeur he can possibly be. He carries quiet confidence rather than loud swagger. He doesn't seek attention or special treatment. He lets his preparation and performance speak for themselves. He treats coaches and teammates with respect and professionalism. The maturity he displays is remarkable, especially considering he grew up with every advantage and could easily have developed an entitled attitude. That's part of why his teammates are rallying behind him. Insider reports indicate genuine excitement in the locker room about this development. Players see how hard Shedeur works. They respect his preparation and professionalism. They've watched him handle adversity with grace rather than making excuses. And now they're ready to go to war for him on Sunday because they believe in what he can become. This matters enormously for a rookie quarterback. You need your offensive line willing to sacrifice their bodies to protect you. You need receivers fighting for extra yards after making catches. You need running backs picking up blitzes without hesitation. All of that happens when the entire team genuinely believes in and respects their quarterback. And by all accounts, Shedeur has earned that respect through his actions and demeanor. Let's address something that's been generating attention for all the wrong reasons. There was a recent burglary at someone's property with nearly $200,000 in damage. While that's obviously a serious crime and an unfortunate situation, Shedeur needs to remember that he cannot allow that to distract from his preparation or performance. He needs to stay laser-focused on football right now. If he succeeds, his next contract could be worth $55 million annually. That's the opportunity in front of him. That's what deserves his complete attention and energy. This is reality for successful people. Sometimes people mistakenly believe that bad things happening to you matter less when you're wealthy and famous. But wrong is wrong, regardless of someone's financial situation. If someone breaks into your home or steals from you, it doesn't matter whether they took 2 cents or $2 million. The principle matters more than the amount. A true professional compartmentalizes situations and maintains focus on what matters most. Shedeur needs to put that circumstance in a box, handle it appropriately through proper channels, and then concentrate entirely on football because this Sunday is about his future. This is about proving he belongs. This is about validating Kevin Stefanski's faith in him and demonstrating to the entire organization that they were right to trust him with this opportunity. People keep emphasizing how Sunday's game is a marathon rather than a sprint. This isn't about Shedeur winning the Super Bowl in his first start. This isn't about posting MVP-caliber statistics immediately. This is the first step in what everyone hopes will be a long and successful journey. Starting fastest doesn't determine who wins the race. The winner is whoever perseveres and improves until they cross the finish line. That's the mentality Shedeur needs to embrace. Patience with the process is essential. There will be mistakes on Sunday. There will be throws he wants back. There will be moments of frustration when things don't go according to plan. But the key is maintaining composure, learning from every repetition, and continuing forward. Developing as a quarterback requires mastering time management and understanding the responsibilities that come with playing the position at a high level. What do you think about all of this? Are you excited to watch Shedeur Sanders make his first NFL start? Do you believe he's going to succeed or struggle? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because this is exactly the kind of moment that brings the entire football community together for debate and discussion. And if you want to stay completely updated on how Shedeur performs and what happens next in this incredible story, smash that like button right now and hit subscribe. This Sunday is going to be absolutely must-see television regardless of what happens, and we'll be breaking down every single moment of Shedeur Sanders' debut as an NFL starting quarterback.